Namaste and hello. You are watching Vibes of India. I am Sakshi Singh. Today we have with us a very known and respected personality, Dr. Tejas Patel, a cardiologist from Ahmedabad, India. He have also won Padma Shri Award by Government of India and Dr. B.C. Roy Award, which is the highest medical award in India. So, Dr. Tejas Patel, you are a very known and respected cardiologist in India. I have a very personal question for you. If you don't mind, may I ask?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, I want to know that how you keep your heart so fit.
See, I'm a cardiologist practicing since now almost 32 years. You know, and I think everybody knows that heart being the engine for the body,
Yes.
the heart, the most important thing we have to think of is the heart health to keep ourselves alive and then to keep ourselves healthy and to maintain the health throughout, overall health. So, unfortunately, many of the doctor friends, they advise, but they are not able to put it in practice, how to manage the time for the proper health of the heart and body. For that, you have to exercise, you have to do stress management, you have to have good eating habit,
Yes.
and so on and so forth. Uh, I have been very passionate about these things since when I was a child. My father was a physician and he used to advise me that your health is, you have to maintain yourself. And as a doctor, as the doctor grows in age, doctor can be more helpful to the patient, more experienced, so you can help more patients. So longer you live and healthier you live, you are able to practice since very long till when you are in 70s or 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
And for that, you have to positively maintain your health. And it stuck me in my mind. And since then, since childhood, I used to do some or other exercises regularly
So,
apart
since
from outdoor.
childhood, since childhood, you always wanted to be a doctor.
That is for sure, yes.
Wow.
And then I, I was also clear that I am going to be a cardiologist since
Wow.
when I was in 10th standard.
You never had any other hobbies or like
No,
aim?
I had a hobby reading, moving around,
Yeah.
playing, doing mischief. All these were the part of my hobbies. Yeah.
Okay. So, you have healed some serious, challenging, and very delicate cases, as we all know. Can you tell me and share some details about such cases you found very hard?
See, I cannot, disclose these things because it is not good and it is unethical. But one thing I must tell you that every time I have worked on a very sick patient, may the patient be a VIP patient or may the patient be a regular patient, there are always catecholamine surgeries and there is always a stress level. As I grew in my experience, I was able to handle the stress pretty well.
Wow.
And nowadays, I am able to handle it even well. But one thing I tell you, whenever I have worked on dying patient, I personally feel that I am losing some hours or maybe a few days of my life because that stress I have to take.
Yes.
Because after all, patient is trusting us for his or her life.
Yes.
So we have to go all out to help and do our best. But this is the way of life for any interventional cardiologist who is involved in complicated procedures.
Yes, true. So, Dr. Patel, why is it that we are increasing seeing young people dying of heart attack?
It's a good question. Actually, this question has been thrown to me in different forums, even in different medical forums and non-medical forums. So, it's a paradox actually. Now, on one hand, you are getting more and more younger people getting afflicted with heart problems, and there may be some deaths happening here and there, and which are being reported in the media, in the print media or electronic media or on social media, and that can lead to a lot of increase in the anxiety levels amongst the young people and even amongst the parents. I personally feel that the new generation, this generation of young people, is more health conscious as compared to what we were in our time and what our parents were in their time. That is for sure. Because many of them are gymming, many of them are doing exercise, they want to look good, and to look good, they are trying their level best to maintain the body and everything and maintain inches. And this is uniformly true for both boys and girls, right? Now, why then this happens despite doing this? Probably there is significant peer pressure of performance. May one be a student, or may one be in the new job or new profession or new business, or may one be in an established business. Everybody is running after their goal, and there is a fierce competition, and that leads to peer pressure of performance, and that leads to a lot of catecholamine, the bad hormone surges in the body, and that leads to some damage to the vessels as well as the heart. The inflammation increases, and that can lead to enhancement of this process, or even if there are some borderline blocks, there are higher chances of block getting that those blocks getting ruptured and leading to rough surface, leading to total occlusion of the artery and heart attack, and maybe death or maybe morbidity. So that is one part of the story. Secondly, the food habits. I think the young generation is very conscious about the body, their inches, exercise, everything. But I don't think they are as conscious and about their food habit.
Especially in Gujarat?
No, it is uniform.
Uniform, okay.
Everybody likes fast food. Everybody likes the food which has lot of simple sugar and trans fat. That is very, very bad for the heart and the body vessels in total. So, and that is why I explain all my patients what food one should eat. So, by and large, the food which is quite friendly to your tongue is, by and large, it is unfriendly to your heart. And the food which is most of the time quite unfriendly to your tongue, or not, maybe okay to your tongue, may be very good for your heart. Because antioxidants, the food containing antioxidants is very good for your heart and vessels, but that food has stringent taste and you may not like. You see jamun, or you see pomegranate, and all those, you go on chewing, and there is some taste which you feel, okay, you want to eat, but you don't want to eat much. Something like that.
Yes.
And the food which is crispy or crunchy and which is sweet, or maybe that you love it, right?
Yes.
And you know that every time you fry, particularly in the oil, the first time there is some development of trans fat, and each subsequent time you fry, the percentage or the amount of trans fat increases significantly, and that is very, very dangerous for the heart and vessel. And similarly, simple sugar, like if I tell you to eat mango, and if you are hungry, and if you have Alfonso or a good Kesar mango, you will eat 3-4 without any problem, and you will love to eat more. But if at the same time, if I give you orange, you may be okay with 1 or 2, and then it's okay, fine. So all those fruits which contain lot of simple sugar People love to eat because
Yeah.
that suits your taste bud. And complex sugar, food which contains complex sugar, you like, but you don't like to eat too much.
Too much,
So this
yes.
is the problem.
True. So, Dr. Patel, can you tell us about a specific pathological laboratory test, if there are any, to determine one's chances of getting a heart attack?
Look here, if anybody nowadays, when I was a medical student, anybody coming with heart attack, at the age which is maybe around 50, 55, we were surprised. Oh, it's very young age,
Yeah.
something like that. But then, every subsequent decade, when I became MD in late 80s, people with 50 were coming regularly. And then in DM cardiology, I did. And then I was assistant professor in the early 90s there in civil hospital, which is UL Mehta.
Yes.
People in their 40s, late 40s were used to come. And then every decade, like in 2000, 35, 37, they were coming. And nowadays, even 25, 30-year-old boys and girls are coming with the heart problems. So this is a very concerning and very, very disturbing problem, not only for the cardiologists who are treating, but as a society overall. It's not a good happening. Something really needs to be done.
Yes.
And I think that lifestyle modification and preventive measures are going to be the mainstay. Treatment, I tell you, fantastic treatments are available. Despite all these, before independence, that the air was clean in India, the food was organic because no fertilizer or other
Yes,
things were
compared
used,
to
all
now.
natural, right? Everything. People used to work, people
Yes.
used to walk a lot, people used to, because there were no means of entertainment or nothing much. Still, just understand this thing. The average lifespan of a male was what? About 48, 49, 50. And average lifespan of a female was 51, 52.
Okay.
And despite all this, nowadays, you eat, a lot of foods with lot of artificial fertilizer, which has been grown in artificial fertilizer,
Yes.
hardly any organic thing. The air quality is not good, and even the fast food and all those things,
That's
they are
good.
really bad. Still, the average lifespan of an Indian male
Increase.
is more than 70, 71, 72, and female is nearly 73, 74, or whatever. So, that is because of the treatment. The treatment is very good, and even if the problem happens, most of the time you are able to bring the patient out of that mess. But more and more I treat this patient and examine this patient, I feel that now the focus should be fine. The treatment, the development, research and development must continue to get the best of the treatment and new treatment to reduce the incidence of morbidity and mortality. But there has to be lot of research and lot of things to be done. I personally feel in prevention aspect,
True.
which
It
is
should
which
be.
should be the mainstay in managing this problem.
Because if you will prevent, then you don't have to
You can delay it, you can
Yes.
prevent it, you can delay it, and patient can the society, you can have a healthy society down the line in 1 or 2 decades. Some goal, something needs to be directed, to do all these things. Yeah.
Yes, even we have seen that there are some old people whose heart condition happens to be absolutely fine. But there are some very young and middle aged people whose heart health is at stake. So, why is it so? That old people are healthy, as you said that previously it was like ki their span was less than the people of now.
Let me tell you, I forgot to tell you one thing, that one very important factor we have not discussed is genetics.
Okay.
If you have acquired good genes, from your parents and forefathers, Anyway, even if you indulge, you are going to live long. And if you have acquired bad like your parents have problem, parents have also problem, then you are very vulnerable to develop the problem.
Develop it.
Because you have some control over choosing your spouse, but no control over choosing your parents. So that risk factor is a very, very strong risk factor. One has to understand. So how to strike the balance. If you are at a very high risk, genetic risk, so be careful since beginning, since when you are young, and just don't try to deviate too much in your lifestyle.
Okay, like from which age will you suggest that the person और जिनके पेरेंट्स को भी है ये प्रॉब्लम दे शुड टेक केयर ऑफ themselves? Is there any particular
As
time?
early as possible.
As early as
Yes.
possible.
Because this process for this in our book, one of the famous pathologist Voin, whose textbook we used to read in second MBBS, the sentence given, the development of blockage in the heart arteries and other arteries, the sentence, the chapter starts with one sentence that it is a song sung in the cradle, ends in the grave. So the process starts since when you take your birth, and it ends when you end your life.
Okay. And I believe that I have heard of this widowmaker heart attack, which is very dangerous and serious thing. So is it true that it is very dangerous? And if it is so, can you tell us that how to prevent it? Because
See,
recently
you have to identify the problem. Any heart attack can kill a person, even if it is a small artery. But if it is a main artery block, and if something goes wrong there are higher chances. But even with small artery, the rhythm disturbances can kill a patient. So one has to be very, very particular about getting oneself checked. If you are living a healthy life, then also maybe after the age of 40 or 45, get your basic cardiac workup done, not angiography, but the basic non-invasive work and your blood profile, etc. Because nowadays diabetes is also a household affair. Every house has diabetes, and every alternate or third person is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. So unfortunately, India is going to be, the world capital of diabetes, which is not a good thing and which is not a thing for which we should be proud of.
yeah.
So looking at all these, one has to get oneself checked and try to pick up the problem before it creates a damage.
So stress is the main problem you think is
Stress is one of the major problems.
Major
Uncontrolled sugar, uncontrolled blood pressure, smoking, tobacco consumption in any form. This all very bad, and the bad food habits, sedentary life, all these, obesity, all these are very significant risk factors.
Okay, and is there any statistics to prove whether males or females are more prone to it?
It's a good question. If this question, if I have faced this question before 30 or 40 years or 25 years, I would have been very confident that pre-menopausal women are practically immune to this problem, and all the problem starts only after menopause, and the males are vulnerable at certain age and thereafter. But nowadays it is not true. We come across heart ailments and circulation issues in a female who is 35 or 40 and all those. There are certain risk factors like oral contraceptive pills, and then I think it is a very unfortunate happening, but incidence of smoking in female have also gone up.
Yeah.
So,
It has.
which is not a good thing. So all these things, and then of course, many female, nowadays are not housewives.
Yes.
They are not homemakers. They are professional. They are working women. So again, significant pressure, peer pressure of performance.
Again.
All those.
So, for the last to end this, I have this question that what are the 3 simple most tips you can give to our viewers to have a great heart?
What should I say? I personally feel that how busy you are. 24 hours in a day is a pretty long time. You have to have 1 hour for your workout, whatever you do. You have to maintain good diet and food habits. And then, very importantly, one has to do a good stress management. You have to know how to hold your nerves, basic pranayam practice, shavasana, all these things.
Yoga.
And yogic asana, if you can do, spend some time, try to cool down. And another important thing, if you have a very, very busy schedule during your work time, spend some time for yourself in between about 25-30 minutes where you can take your small lunch in 5-10 minutes and then 5 to 10 minutes of a good power nap.
Yeah.
These are small things which can which can preserve you and get you going for a very, very long
time. Thank you so much,
My
Dr.
pleasure.
Patel,
Thank you.
for giving us
Thank you.
wonderful tips.
Thank
It was lovely.